am I just stupid? Why can't I get this? It's been such an amazing experience learning how to become a front-end engineer. And that's really what this channel is all about. So if you're new here, please feel free to check out the other videos in this series about becoming a front-end engineer. That's kind of hard to say. How about a front-end developer? That's a little bit easier. Okay, so for the past 6 weeks, I've been studying HTML and CSS. And there's actually a couple of reasons that you see my workshop in the background. So first of all, we have a guest staying with us, and it's very, very early in the morning. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning here. And my wife and our guests are still sleeping, so I don't want to wake them up. But also because this workshop behind me really saved me and helped me get through CSS and really be able to move forward in this process. So the first thing I want to tell you about CSS and wrapping that up and knowing that it was time to move forward with JavaScript, it started out that I hit a major pothole. I think when you're watching videos on YouTube, maybe some young developers or even developers who've been in the game for a long time, I think we all want to stay positive. We all want to be positive all the time, and that's partially probably why I didn't record any videos for a few weeks. It got really tough, guys. Here's the truth about learning how to program. It uses all parts of your brain. It uses the creative side, the logical side, and that's why I love it so very much. But it's also very, very hard. And I'm gonna just be really frank with you. There were a couple of times when I thought, I'm not gonna make it. And I really beat up on myself a lot. And there were times when I found myself saying, am I just stupid? Why can't I get this? And I really had to take a few days to process through my emotional and intellectual experience. And I don't wanna toot my own horn here, but this is just my experience. In my life, things have come really easily to me. I mean, I've been playing guitar since I was 3 years old. So learning things has always come easily. I don't know why that is, it just is. And with programming and coding and CSS, I was finding that it wasn't coming really easily. And I just thought, maybe this isn't for me, maybe I'm stupid, why am I not getting this? And it was really hard for me to process through that. And I realized a couple of things during that time. First of all, I was being way too hard on myself. And I know if you're watching this video and you've already gone through CSS and you're considering whether it's time now to get into JavaScript, I'm thinking probably 99% chance that you went through something similar to this, because it's a skill that draws on different parts of your brain that very few other things do. And I just want to tell you, if you're still in that situation and it's still hard, I just want you to know you can do this. You can do this. I believe in you. And I finally, after several days and then a few weeks of applying myself, I can now say with extraordinary confidence, I believe in me. It's just, you have to get through it. Just push through it, push through it, push through it. Find that confidence, find that self-belief. And if you're struggling and you find yourself being difficult on yourself, here's what I want you to do. This is why I'm sitting in my workshop. I want you to take a break just for a little bit. Take little breaks, maybe even take a whole day off. Maybe even give yourself permission to take 2 or 3 days off. And I want you to invest that time doing something completely different that brings you joy, that makes you happy, and that's creative. I found that doing woodworking, which is a huge passion for me in my life, doing woodworking did a few things for me. It helped me to relax. It helped me to focus my attention away from coding, away from things that I don't maybe understand fully, and to focus on something that brings me joy and really engages me. I have to really use my mind. Woodworking is very mindful. And so being able to do that kind of gave me a release. It was a release and opened me back up to receiving new information and new knowledge and in a better way. I also felt more confident after I did my woodworking, right? I was able to build something with my hands and see a final product that I could say, okay, I did this, I built this. That means I know that I can build other things with these hands and this mind. And whether that's woodworking or writing music or dance or cooking or whatever it is, painting, even if you suck at it. I mean, I'm not a great woodworker. I do pretty good, but I'm not great at it, but I love it. If there's something that you really love doing, maybe making that amazing Italian dish that you've been thinking about in the back of your mind that you want to do, just do that. Use that as your anchor, your creative anchor and your logical anchor. You know, art, it takes process. It takes a process and it feels good and it will lighten you up. And I just want to urge you to just keep going. Find those things that make you feel good, that draw out all of those wonderful creative juices in you. Focus on that, whether it's for 15 to 30 minutes one day when you're stressed out, or a whole day or a whole couple of days on a project. Do that, dig into that, and then come back refreshed. Come back with that open mind. Come back with that new level of confidence. And you will find, I promise, you will find that all of a sudden, these things that were so stressful that you thought you would never get, now you're more patient with yourself. You're more accepting with yourself. And you can take the next step and the next step. Okay? So I'll stop going on, but that was really my ride for about 3 weeks. And I want to tell you the really good news. One day I found myself, I was trying to decide, okay, what lesson should I use? Should I continue going with Codecademy? Should I dig into doing some projects online with some people? And so I was like, you know what I really want to do is build something. So I fumbled through a few projects and then I started to notice, okay, I'm realizing that I know basically what the developer is going to do next. And that was my signal. I thought to myself, well, why am I going to keep building this project that somebody else has built when I'm already kind of guessing ahead what they're going to do? I'm just going to try it. I'm just going to get out there. You know, I've done my own little projects along the way, but I'm going to get out there and see if I can build my own website, at least a landing page with, you know, buttons and hovers, and use Flexbox and use, you know, grid, and make sure that I understand how to build a nav bar and I understand how to line everything up, and that I feel comfortable in that. And so I did it. And it took me about 6 hours and I was able to do it. I got to the end and there was one section of photo gallery that I really struggled with. I got it and made it responsive, but it still looked kind of ugly. So I will admit I did get on and get some help with that. But you guys, that's what it is to be a developer. We're not going to know everything ever. I mean, it's changing. Technology is changing constantly. Software is changing constantly. And so it's okay if you need to go back and reference. But I do want to strongly suggest, before you consider moving over to JavaScript, if you are on the front end developer path, to go ahead and get through your HTML definitely, and get through your CSS to a level that you feel really comfortable navigating and creating a page. Here's the cool thing. I really do have to say, a lot of the skills that I learned by learning CSS, if that makes sense, I'm able to apply to JavaScript. I'm now able to be a little bit more patient with myself. I'm able to pace myself. I know what kind of notes to be taking. I also know when to stop and process through what I just read or what I just learned. I also know I need to spend a little bit more time playing in the micro projects that we're doing along the way. And so whether you're self-taught or you're in a code camp or whatever, definitely take your time in these micro projects and do what they suggest doing. Play around in there a little bit before you move on to the next thing. and make sure that you can explain it in layman's terms, whatever you just learned, because then you know you've soaked it in. So that's it for me for this week's video. What I'm going to do is really dig into JavaScript now, and I hope within the next week or two to have something cool to share with you guys. Everything I've read is it takes about 2 months to get really solid on JavaScript. So it may take me a while before I make another video because I want to stay really focused on it. But I think the point of this whole video, in truth, is just to say to you, wherever you are on your programming journey, if you're struggling, you are not alone. It's hard. It's hard. You're learning new languages. So I want you to cut yourself some slack. I want you to take some time to do things that bring you joy and build your confidence. And then I want you to come back to it refreshed and be willing to put in a little bit of extra work and a little bit of practice. And the biggest takeaway, my biggest takeaway, is to remember to have fun. That's why we got into this. Yes, the money will be great, but the bottom line is we got into coding because it's fun. So I want you to hang in there, guys. Hang in there. I'm with you on this journey. Please feel free to leave any comments. If you have taken some breaks and found a way to kind of get around the struggle, share those too if you have some cool ideas. And if you have already been through CSS and you've jumped into JavaScript, let me know what your experience is like. Let me know what's happening with you. What do you think of JavaScript? Are you liking it? Are you having fun? Are you struggling? Leave some comments. Let us know. All right, guys, please like and subscribe if you dug this video. Thanks for being with me this week.